Hi, today I want to show you how you can build a mobile responsive hamburger menu navigation bar. It's super simple, great for web applications and websites, and you can natively do it with the magic of SVGs and a little bit of JavaScript and HTML directly inside of Nordcraft. So let's get right started with that. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to create our navigation bar in our structural interface. So let's add a nav element here, which is the start of everything. And let's just get some styling going. Let's go on layout, let's make it fixed, and it's going to have an inset on right 0, left 0, top 0, so it balances it on the top. There you go. Now let's give it a width of 1 rem and a height of 1, oh, sorry, my bad. No, let's give it a width of 100% and a height of fit content, and then a gap of 1 rem and a top and bottom padding of 1 rem. There you go. Now the first thing that we need is a logo. We can get this from Relume Icons. And let's just take any random thing that looks nice. Let's copy that for Figma. Let's paste that. And now we just go to the main part of our application, make everything white. And now inside of here, we can make the background gray 800, and then this can be completely black. And then we can go to the nav bar here, and we can add a border of 1 pixel with gray 800, and let's actually make that 2 pixels on the bottom. Beautiful, there you go. Let's make sure that all the content goes to the site. And now we got the very minimalist menu here. Let's go into a more mobile friendly format. There you go. And now we just need to add a button in here. Let's just add a div block and then turn it into a button. There you go. Let's center and make sure it is on the other side. And let's make this aspect ratio 1 by 1. And let's make the height 100%. That does not work the way I anticipate. So, oh yeah. Let's see, we got that here. Then let's just do a width of 2 rem by height 2 rem. There you go. And now we got that space here. Now I want to turn that into a button. And there you go. So now I have a button. Now I want to get my SVG inside of here to actually control that. And then we will need to add a menu inside of here, which will be very interesting. So we got that in here. Let's actually start by getting this nav bar, and let's wrap this in a div block. And let's put the button in that div block. And let's make it go to the site. And let's reverse it, because it's a little bit funky. Oh, no, my bad. The button should be first. Yeah. And then we're going to make this width 100%. There you go. And we'll just align it on the site. And the SVG should be number 1. There you go. And we have the SVG inside of here. Now, I just want to align it so we have the mobile menu coming down. So let's go here on that div. And this one here, we have this here. We need to go to the nav bar, and it actually needs to go down. So I have this here. Let's make this actually absolute and bottom 0 pixels, right 0 pixels, left 0 pixels. So we have this aligned here. Now inside of here, I will add another div block, which will have elements in it, and we just need to align it so it goes down. So let's go to this. Let's align things properly. Okay, let's see. We have this here. This should be a height of 0 pixels, so it aligns it down. There you go. It's a little bit of a hack. We got this div block here to get the content down there. So there you go. And now, yeah, we have this right inside of here. We got the div block here. This will be holding everything. So let's make this width 100%. And we're going to give this a 0.5 rem padding and a 0.5 rem top and bottom padding. And then I'm going to go here with the background, and we are going to make this also gray 800 with a little bit of transparency. And to make it very cool, I'm going to add an advanced property of backdrop filter of blur 30 pixels. There you go. Now we got that here. Let's go to this button. Let's make that width 100%. And looks beautiful. Now we just build our menu inside of here. So let's make that look nice. So let's go inside of here. And now we can go and make this be gray 800 or no. Let's make this a little bit lighter. There you go. And now inside of here we can make the font also a little bit nicer by making the size 14.5 pixels and the weight stays as it is, or we can make it a little bit more elegant by doing 400 pixels. And then we can go with the color. We always make it white. Everything else doesn't look good. And we'll do letter spacing of -0.3 pixels. There you go. So it looks high quality. Now we got that menu inside of here. So what we want to do is we now want to go inside of here on the variables, and let's add menu options. So I will call that menu options. On that, I'm going to go on an object, and I'm going to add this in an array, so it's a list, and then I will add name and href. So I go to name, Google, and I will do href https:// and I will add another item that will have name, Despia, and we will do despia.com, and then I will do another one, NoCode Pro Code, and I will do nocodeprocode.com. That way I have it fully dynamic here, right? So I can update that. So I'm just going to add a repeat list on here with the menu options. I'm going to click on the text. I'm going to take the item, and I'm going to take the name. Then this button will be turned into an A tag. And then we're going to, an A tag. And we're going to do pre-render moderate. And I'm going to add href. We go on FX, and we're going to make the href dynamically based on the href attribute here. Now I go to the element that holds that list, and we're going to add a 0.5 rem gap to this. Beautiful. Now we have the links. I think they look beautiful. Let's just center it though. Very nice. Now we got that link panel right inside of here, and we just need to, make it controllable with this button. But this works beautiful. So now what we can do is we have this element which kind of like controls the whole thing, so we can just show and hide it. For that, we need to have a state though to show if the menu is open or not. So let's do menu open. Default will be false. And then I go on this element here, and I can just call that. It's not really a dialog, so we're going to not touch that. This would technically be the dialog. There you go. And then we can just show and hide this one. This will be shown based on if the menu is open or not, which it is not right now. So we got that hidden, and we just want to animate it though. So what we can do, and that is actually a pretty cool thing, is we can add starting style, just like that here, by going to starting style. And the starting style can be, so it can fade in or it can move up. So with starting style, we can go with transform, and I can do like 100, wrong direction, minus 100%. So it goes all the way up. Maybe minus 200%, let's see. Maybe 150. 150. Yeah, that looks good. So I can do minus 150%. And then I can also do effects, opacity 0. There you go. And then we see it animates in. I just want to make sure that when this animates from the starting style, that we have the z-index and all that stuff appropriately, but we'll do one thing at a time here. So now when I do the show and hide, that should be fine. So let's go to the button, and this button on click will set the menu open to the current value of menu open, and it will just use the not to reverse it. So now when I click on here, yeah, now it just doesn't animate because we will need to add a delay to the default because we have the starting style. So I'm just going to add all elements, and now it should animate in. Ooh, I think I added on the wrong element. We got the dialog here. Now dialog is a reserved element, so let's actually make this into a div block again so we don't have to deal with the reserved stuff. So we can close it, and there you go. You see it animates in. Now we do have the little problem of it, animating the way it animates in, because we need to work with the z-index. Technically, we want this nav item to not have any width at all, right? We want this to have the width, the padding, 1 rem by 1 rem, right? And then this element here, which is a different element to this, which is in this parent element, that is actually the nav element, this one, would need to have the background color, the black one that we had, or no, it was gray 900, right? This one would be the gray 900. The nav bar here could be transparent, doesn't matter, but this would need to be the 900. And then this one would need to have a z-index that is possibly 99. And then this one will automatically go behind it. So now you see how it goes behind it because of the z-index. And now we probably want to go to this element here, which has a starting style, and make sure it moves it a little bit less down by actually removing the last 50%. So it animates correctly. Okay, now we still do have an issue with Nordcraft, but that is probably on Nordcraft and not on us here. So let's just refresh the page, let's give it some time, and there you go. Now, if I click on here, we see the menu nicely animates in. Look at that, beautiful. And I absolutely hate hovers, so let's just remove the hover here. There you go. So now we can click it again, we can close it. What happens if I want to click outside of here? Oh, this is a fun one. You'll love this. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to, this will be shown and hidden, and this one is inside of here. So what we can do is we can add a div block, oh, not an emphasis, but we can add a div block in here because this is already absolute. It already goes around all the content on the page. So I can collapse this here and I can add a div block. I can literally even give it a custom tag name if I want to, called close, which will be width 100%, height 100%. And we need to make this absolute. So let's make this absolute, and we'll do an inset of 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels. Or probably fixed. There you go, let's make that fixed. So now it covers the whole page because it is fixed. So we have this element which is clickable. Now the z-index is very important in this manner because it can't be above our menu. So when I click in the menu and you see that the close element is over the menu, that's a problem. So we want the close element to be over the menu, so the menu is the first one. So when I click on here, if I click on here and I hover and I can select items in the menu, you're doing it right. If I click on here, this works well. If I go on here, I will click the select. Important is that when I click on here, that this close element is not in this where I can click. This close element needs to be behind the things that are clickable. So when I click outside, we can trigger an action to close it. Let me show you. If I go on this click element, I can go to menu open and I can make it false. And now I need to have this close element also be shown and hidden. So we add a show and hide to the close element, and it will be when the menu is open, the close element will be there. To make it a little bit easier to understand, let's make it pink. There you go. So as you can see, I can close it manually here. And ooh, it doesn't show it. It's not pink. That is because Nordcraft is weird today. It just doesn't render it in the editor that well, but it should be working. There you go. So Now if I open this, you will see the menu opens and I can go to Google and I can click things and I can click in here and I can close it, you know, without closing it. But then when I click anywhere here, I'm clicking the pink area, which has the event tied to it, to close it. So this is how you can click in here without, you know, closing it by clicking on it, and close it manually here, or click on the logo without triggering it. But if you click on here, you click the element which has the action to close the menu. That's how you do that. And now let's just, you know, we can actually go behind here and we can make it black and we can make it halfway transparent, which is a way how most applications structure things. So now inside of here, you'll see the magic. I can add a div block in here, which has a width of height 100% and width 100%, which will then have enough padding to accommodate the menu, because your menu should probably have a fixed height. So let's figure out which one works for rem. That seems to be working great. So let's add a top padding of 4 rem inside of here. So I can put a div block inside of here that then, you know, gives me the space to build my application in. Height 100%. There you go. That will be our main canvas of the application. We'll give it 1 rem side padding, 1 rem top and bottom padding. I just want to build a little bit of content in here. You don't need to do that. I just want to fill it up so you can see what's going on. Let's make a 25 rem inside of here, or let's do a 10 rem. There you go. Let's make it, give it some color. Yeah, let's give it a border of 1 rem. Let's go inside of here. Let's give it a 1 rem gap, and let's add it a few times inside of here. Beautiful. So now, as you can see, I can scroll. We'll work on those things. But now if I open the menu, oh, you see the main is actually over everything. Welcome to z-index. This needs to be also having a good z-index, so the nav bar itself needs to also have a 99 z-index, so it is above the other content. And now you see how it moves and, you know, how it stays fixed. So I can open this, you see the background blurs out, right? I can click on the menus, I can go to the pages, and then I can click outside of here to close it. Now it's beautiful. So we got that nicely going. Let's remove one, you know, it's too much. And now how do I get this hamburger animation? We could do this with a little bit of CSS and a little bit of JavaScript. Now, I love CodePen. There are lots of people doing my work for me. So let's copy this SVG that I found on CodePen, paste it in this button, ignore that stupid thing, and now we got it inside of here. Now if I click on side of here, you see the menu is animating and animating in and animating out. Now the problem is, what if I click outside of it? The state of this SVG, which SVGs can have animations, you see this animate element here, it doesn't update its state. So we need to create a little action with a little bit of custom code to actually reverse the animation and animate it in reverse. Now, reverse is the keyword that we should be looking for. There is an animation element here with the ID reverse. This is already existent. So I can target the ID of this animation element, reverse, with a protocol that is available to me that is called begin element, which will revert it back to the initial animation. Let's build a custom action for that. There you go. So let's create an action called revert SVG animation. Revert SVG animation. Now I'm going to do const SVG equals document dot get element by ID. We're going to put the element by ID inside of here, which we will make it dynamic, so that will be a string. We'll put the ID in here, and then we'll have a fallback of reverse, which is the name we already know of, right? That's the ID, reverse. And then this in here will be args.id. So now we have this SVG defined. So now I can do, let's take a look at the documentation. Yeah, I will just take the constants, so SVG, and then I will do dot begin element. So this will revert the animation. And I have it with a fallback. I can add a little description if I want to, but I don't want to. So now we need to go to this SVG, which already has the ID, which is perfect. And we can just target it now with a custom action. So when I open this menu, and when I manually close it with a close event, because that's the only way how it would get out of state, I'm just going to do the revert SVG animation with the ID reverse. So now when I click outside of here, it should work. Let's hope it works. Let's see. Okay, let's open this here. And you see how it updates the state even when I click outside of it programmatically with a little bit of JavaScript? That's how you build a menu. So I can open, close with a nice animation, blurs out the background. I can click on the links, they're fully clickable. I can close it manually. But then when I click outside of it here, we have this element that is just there to detect the click, to support the click outside. If I click on here, it updates the SVG with our little bit of custom code to just do this programmatically. We're using an already animated SVG. Feel free to, use this here from CodePen. It's pure SVG hamburger menu animation. And this is how you build fantastic website and web application experiences that are better than React using Node-Craft without having to use something like Spark. I'm a big fan of learn how SVGs, learn how HTML, learn how the web works. Make it, don't necessarily use components, do whatever helps you build it. Learn how the core works. That's what we're doing here. We're learning the core. We're learning that SVGs can have animations. Don't use a template made by someone else. You're just going to be an expert in someone else's development territory, but you should create your own systems. You should create your own strategies, your own procedures to build amazing web experiences. So that's my opinion on that. So learn how the web works. Don't learn how a specific framework works. And this is exactly what we're doing here. We're learning how the web works. And if you want to learn more about how the web works, how to build amazing stuff like this, definitely check out NoCodeProCode.com with our daily office hours, with our daily support to help you overcome all of your roadblocks, make better progress, keep you accountable, have a community around you that is doing exactly what you're doing, and getting the possibility to ask me in a Zoom meeting everyday questions to make sure that your project is smooth sailing guaranteed. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate that. I can't wait to see all your exciting hamburger menus and see you in the next video. Take care.